A billionaire man, his hands cuffed in cold steel, stands silently in a dimly lit interrogation room. His gaze is fixed on a small child standing across from him, a mixture of confusion and pain etched on his face. Outside, the city's skyscrapers loom under a brooding storm sky. The glass towers summit where the CEO alone collapses into tears, her face illuminated only by the pale glow of the city lights. The glare of a magazine cover emblazoned with his face, Time's Man of the Decade, flares in the background. A deep, solemn voice narrates, "He built an empire, but he couldn't save her." No names. No explanations. Just a jarring collision of success and failure, love and loss. The emotional paradox pulls the viewer into a world of shattered perfection. No names have been spoken yet, but the tension deepens. The billionaire's empire, once a symbol of invincibility, is now a fragile house of cards. His solitude in that stark room contrasts sharply with the bustling boardroom, where decisions were once made. Meanwhile, the child's eyes hold a question that echoes through the silence: why? The camera shifts to the CEO's reflection in the glass, a woman haunted by loss and secrets. Her sobs are swallowed by the cold night. This is the beginning of a story about power that cannot shield from personal ruin, a tale where the perfect life shatters in an instant. The billionaire's mind races back to better days, boardrooms filled with applause, champagne toasts, headlines praising his brilliance. But all those moments now feel like distant echoes beneath the weight of this cold reality. Outside, the child clutches a worn teddy bear, her small frame trembling but eyes fierce with unshed tears. They are bound by a bond neither can articulate, caught in a painful silence. The story whispers, behind every empire lies a story untold, and behind every face, a private tragedy that no public accolade can mask. The camera shifts abruptly back to the present, empty corridors in a corporate tower, silence heavy and oppressive. The child's small footsteps echo faintly, as she stands by a large glass door, peering through to the empty boardroom, where decisions that once shaped worlds were made. Her gaze is a mix of yearning and defiance. Meanwhile, the billionaire sits alone, the harsh fluorescent light above casting long shadows across his face. Time has stopped here, frozen between past glory and present downfall. The viewer senses that the story will soon unravel the tangled threads of ambition and sacrifice. A final image to seal the act. The billionaire, escorted by stern officers, steps out of the corporate tower under the cold gaze of the press. Flashes of cameras punctuate the twilight. The child watches from afar, clutching her teddy bear tighter, a silent witness to a world crumbling. The CEO remains inside, framed by the towering glass walls, a solitary figure caught between ruin and resilience. The voiceover returns, a whispered echo. He built an empire, but he couldn't save her. The paradox settles, the stage is set, and the story is ready to unfold. The story shifts focus to a young boy named Ethan, his small hands clutching the worn fabric of his mother's coat. He watches silently as she pleads with a stern store manager, her voice trembling with desperation. "Please, I just need a chance," she says, eyes pleading for mercy. Ethan's heart pounds as rejection tightens around them like a noose. The world outside the store feels cold and indifferent, the harsh fluorescent lights flickering above casting harsh shadows on their faces. From this moment, Ethan vows silently to himself, he will never be powerless, never be overlooked. The seeds of ambition, born from hardship, take root deep within this small, quiet boy. Years later, a young woman named Clara stands outside a sleek corporate boardroom, her reflection distorted in the glass. She presses her hand against the cool surface, a silent plea for inclusion. The boardroom door stays closed, its polished wood symbolizing the barriers she's faced. Clara's jaw tightens, she's been shut out again, her talent dismissed by those who couldn't see past her gender or youth. Yet beneath the surface burns a fierce resolve, a quiet fire fueled by every door slammed shut. Clara is not just a survivor, she is a storm gathering strength, ready to break through the glass ceiling and claim her place. In a cramped apartment kitchen, A teenage girl named Maya watches her mother at the stove, stirring a pot with tired hands. The scent of burnt toast lingers in the air, but so does hope. Maya's mother hums softly, masking exhaustion with a fragile smile. Maya clutches a crumpled letter in her hand, another rejection from a prestigious internship. The weight of their dreams and disappointments hangs thick between them. Yet Maya's eyes blaze with a stubborn light. She vows she will rise beyond the disappointments, beyond the limits placed on her. This is the genesis of a fierce ambition wrapped in love and sacrifice. Miles away in a quiet suburban home, a young boy named Lucas sits alone in a toy store, his eyes wide and searching as his mother kneels in front of a hiring manager, pleading for work. Her voice is low but desperate, promises falling on deaf ears. Lucas's small frame trembles, caught in the gap between childhood innocence and the harsh realities of survival. His mother's determination and his silent fears forge a bond of resilience. Though he's just a child, Lucas already understands that life's challenges are battles to be fought, and the scars of these fights will shape him forever. Each of these children, each of these stories carries a silent promise, never to repeat the failures they witnessed. Their paths will be marked by scars of pain and the fierce fire of determination. Though their worlds are separate, their fates begin to intertwine through ambition and passion. The wounds of their pasts are their fuel, and in the shadows of rejection, they craft their own definitions of power. This is not just a story of business or legacy, it's the story of hearts hardened by hardship, of promises whispered in silence, and of dreams forged in the crucible of struggle. Ethan's journey begins with restless nights and relentless ambition. In a cramped office cluttered with blueprints and coffee cups, he pitches his first startup idea to skeptical investors. The hours stretch endlessly as he sacrifices birthdays and friendships, his phone buzzing with missed calls and unanswered texts. His eyes are tired, but his resolve burns bright. "I will make this work," Ethan whispers to himself, despite the mounting exhaustion. Success seems just within reach, but the cost becomes clearer, personal connections fray, and the weight of responsibility threatens to crush his spirit. His ascent to power is no gift. It's a battleground. Meanwhile, Clara throws herself into every boardroom meeting and networking event she can find. Her tailored suit and confident smile mask the loneliness of lost friendships and neglected love. She sacrifices late dinners and family holidays to prove she belongs, often the only woman at the table. "I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to win," Clara reminds herself. Each win feels hollow, tinged with the ache of what she's left behind. Her ambition demands everything, and the price rises with every step up the ladder. Yet Clara refuses to stop climbing. Maya's world is no less demanding. She juggles late-night study sessions with unpaid internships, each rejection letter a fresh wound. Her mother's sacrifices fuel her fire, every tired smile, every skipped meal. Maya's relentless pursuit of excellence isolates her from friends who don't understand her drive. "I'm doing this for us," she tells herself during moments of quiet doubt. Her victories feel incomplete, overshadowed by the fear that it may never be enough. The cost of her rise is not just exhaustion, but a growing sense of isolation that threatens to consume her. Lucas, now a young man, faces the harsh reality of balancing a low-paying job with the pursuit of a business degree. Nights spent working double shifts blur into days filled with lectures and projects. Friends drift away, unable to understand the grind. His mother's encouraging words echo, "Keep pushing, Lucas. You're stronger than this." But the price is relentless fatigue and missed moments, a birthday forgotten, a relationship strained. Every victory tastes bittersweet, shadowed by the cost of his ambition. Yet he presses on, knowing the stakes are nothing less than his future. Together, their lives weave a tapestry of relentless pursuit and mounting sacrifices. Wins arrive, but so do moments of crushing loneliness and self-doubt. Friendships fray and loves are left behind, all in service of a dream that feels both tantalizingly close and endlessly distant. The cost of rising to power is clear. It demands everything and threatens to take more. Yet, in the fire of struggle, each of them discovers an unbreakable core of strength and a hunger that refuses to be extinguished. Their journeys are just beginning, and the price has only begun to rise. Just as their worlds seem to be within reach, the ground shifts beneath them. Ethan discovers that the startup he believed was his own is legally owned by a former mentor who quietly controls every decision. The revelation crashes down like thunder. This isn't mine. Betrayal cuts deep, twisting trust into suspicion. Meanwhile, Clara learns that her closest ally on the board is actually her estranged sibling, someone she never knew and now must confront. The fragile foundation of their ambitions begins to crumble, exposing wounds hidden beneath layers of success and sacrifice. The floor drops. The story pivots sharply into uncharted emotional territory. Clara's confrontation is raw and unexpected. The boardroom, once a battlefield of polished smiles, turns into a chamber of unspoken truths. Her sibling reveals a history of betrayal and missed chances. We should have been allies, not enemies. The air thickens with regret and unresolved pain. Clara's composure cracks for a moment, revealing the vulnerability beneath her armor. The lines between family and business blur dangerously, forcing her to question everything she thought she knew. The revelation is devastating, upending not only her ambitions, but her identity. Maya receives the news that the prestigious internship she fought for was awarded to someone else due to nepotism. The crushing blow lands harder than any rejection letter before. Her mother's comforting arms offer warmth, but the cold sting of unfairness lingers. It's not about merit, Maya whispers bitterly. The illusion of a fair playing field shatters, revealing a system rigged against those who struggle. The collapse of hope threatens to extinguish her flame, but somewhere deep inside, a stubborn defiance begins to stir, ready to ignite a fiercer fight. Lucas receives a devastating medical diagnosis, a secret he keeps hidden from his team and classmates. The weight of his condition presses on him silently, threatening to unravel the delicate balance he's fought so hard to maintain. He smiles through the pain, masking fear with determination, refusing to let it define him. But the strain grows unbearable. The mask slips in moments of solitude, exposing a fragility unknown to those around him. His battle becomes not just external, but deeply internal, one fought in silence, where the stakes are life and death. The moment of collapse unites them in unexpected ways. Their individual struggles converge in a silent understanding. The price of power is steep, and sometimes the world refuses to play fair. The stories of betrayal, loss, and hidden pain echo across boardrooms, apartments, and hospital rooms. Yet amid the rubble, a fragile hope remains, a promise that the truth, however painful, can set them free. The act closes on a quiet note of reckoning, a moment heavy with loss but pregnant with possibility. The story shifts again, preparing for its climactic turning point. The boardroom feels like a battlefield. Ethan stands at the head of a sleek conference table, eyes scanning the sea of faces, some skeptical, some weary, others hopeful. This vote isn't just about numbers. It's about trust, legacy, and redemption. The air hums with tension as he speaks, his voice steady but charged. This company is more than a business. It's a reflection of who we are. We have the power to rebuild what was broken, but only if we choose to stand together. His words hang in the air, heavy and urgent. A silence falls as the vote begins, each click a heartbeat. The weight of generations rests on this fragile moment, where ambition meets consequence. Behind the scenes, Clara prepares for her most vulnerable moment yet. In a quiet, dimly lit backstage room, she clutches a folded speech, her hands trembling with a mixture of fear and resolve. I lost sight of why I started, she rehearses softly, voice catching. The boardroom was her proving ground, but now it's a place where past betrayals and personal failures collide. She thinks of the siblings she barely knows, the friendships strained, the nights alone. This apology isn't just words, it's a reckoning, a desperate attempt to reclaim integrity and trust. As footsteps approach, she straightens, ready to step into the spotlight and into the unknown. On a brightly lit stage, Maya faces a sea of expectant faces, her voice clear and unwavering despite the tremor beneath. I stand here not as a symbol of privilege, but as proof that persistence can rewrite destiny, she declares, eyes shining with conviction. Her words carry the weight of every rejection, every sleepless night, every sacrifice made in the shadows. The crowd leans in, moved by the raw honesty that breaks through polished speeches. This moment is more than personal triumph, it is a beacon for those still struggling in silence, a promise that passion and perseverance can shatter even the toughest glass ceilings. In the quiet solitude of a hospital room, Lucas stands near the window, gazing out as twilight paints the city in soft blues and purples. Despite the frailty etched on his face and the hospital bracelet on his wrist, his voice is steady as he joins a critical virtual board meeting. "I may not be at full strength, but I'm still here, fighting alongside you," he says softly, the room filled with silent support from distant colleagues. His courage transcends the illness that threatens to consume him. This moment reveals a different kind of leadership. One not of power or prestige, but of resilience, heart, and unbreakable spirit. His quiet battle inspires those around him to push forward, no matter the odds. Away from the eyes of the world, in a dimly lit corridor lined with glass walls reflecting the city lights, Ethan and Clara meet. The silence between them is thick with years of betrayal, regret, and unspoken words. Their eyes lock, raw, searching. Slowly, hesitantly, they embrace, a fragile bridge over shattered trust. Neither speaks, but the weight of forgiveness and shared pain settles in that moment. The empire outside may hang by a thread, but inside this quiet space, a seed of hope is planted. Sometimes a voiceover whispers, "The greatest victory is not in conquest, but in choosing to forgive, to let go, and to rebuild." The corridor fades into shadows as the scene closes, poised on the edge of transformation. The city's pulse hums quietly beneath Ethan as he sits alone in his sparse office, high above the streets he once sought to conquer. The empire he fought so fiercely to save stands intact, but the victory feels hollow, weighed down by the sacrifices he never saw coming. Friends drifted away, relationships frayed, and personal moments slipped through his fingers like sand. Yet in this silence, Ethan finds a fragile peace. He's no longer the hungry titan chasing power, but a man shaped by loss and tempered by resilience. The glow of the city lights mirrors the faint hope kindling within, a reminder that survival sometimes is its own kind of triumph. Clara walks through a sun-dappled park, the fresh air filling her lungs as if cleansing years of steel and stone from her soul. Gone are the tailored suits and relentless ambition that once defined her. Now, her steps are unhurried, deliberate, a slow reclaiming of self beyond boardrooms and battles. She pauses beneath a blooming tree, the light playing softly across her face as she breathes deeply. The scars of past conflicts remain, but no longer weigh her down. In this moment of quiet freedom, Clara embraces a new chapter, one defined not by titles or trophies, but by healing, compassion, and the courage to start anew. She smiles faintly, a woman reborn from the ashes of her former life. On the rooftop of a modest building, Maya stands alone, the sprawling city stretching infinitely before her, like a canvas of possibility. In her hand, she clutches an acceptance letter, proof of relentless perseverance and countless quiet battles won. Her smile is gentle but fierce, carrying the weight of every rejection and sacrifice that led her here. The wind tousles her hair as the sun dips low, painting the sky in shades of gold and pink. Though the road ahead remains uncertain, Maya feels a profound shift within herself. She is no longer defined by hardship, but by the strength to rise above it. This moment marks the beginning of a journey not just toward success, but toward becoming the person she was always meant to be. In the intimate warmth of a cozy living room, Lucas sits surrounded by family and friends, their laughter and soft conversations weaving a comforting cocoon around him. The fight against illness continues silently beneath his calm exterior, a battle waged far from public view. Yet here, among those who love him, Lucas finds a different kind of strength, one born from connection, acceptance, and shared vulnerability. The ache of lost time lingers, but it is softened by moments like these, where love becomes a fortress against despair. His legacy is no longer measured in achievements alone, but in the courage to endure and the grace to cherish what truly matters. In this circle, Lucas is whole. The stories of Ethan, Clara, Maya, and Lucas converge like threads, woven into a tapestry, each scar, each sacrifice, and each triumph adding depth and texture. The empire they once fought over still stands, but the true legacy lies in the transformations beneath the surface. Power and money have given way to resilience, empathy, and grace. They have lost much, time, relationships, innocence, but what remains is a profound understanding of what truly endures. As the sun sets over the city skyline, their journeys echo a timeless truth. Legacy is not built by genius alone, but by the courage to rise after every fall, to forgive, and to find meaning in the struggle. This is the quiet, powerful heart of their story. In the quiet solitude of dawn, Ethan stands alone before the mirror, his reflection fractured by the soft light creeping through the window. His eyes, tired yet resolute, betray a lifetime of battles fought and scars earned. He whispers softly, almost as if speaking to a ghost, "I left the company, but I never left her." The words are heavy, carrying the weight of regret, love, and unspoken truths. Behind him, the city slowly awakens, and distant fireworks explode in a muted celebration, their brilliant colors mirrored in his weary gaze. This moment is a crossroads, an ending wrapped in the promise of new beginnings. The empire's ruins and triumphs echo silently as he confronts the man he has become beyond the titles and power. A tiny hand, trembling with both innocence and burgeoning determination, reaches upward toward an empty grand boardroom chair bathed in golden morning light. The polished wood gleams softly, leather cushions inviting yet daunting, a silent throne of power and responsibility. This child, untouched by the burdens of legacy but heir to its promise, embodies the fragile hope of a future yet to be written. The room holds a hushed reverence as sunlight filters through the vast windows, casting long shadows that dance like whispers of stories past. Outside, the city hums with possibility, unaware that this small gesture signifies a profound passing of the torch, the delicate beginning of a new chapter shaped by the triumphs and trials of those who came before. The CEO stands silently before her bathroom mirror at night, her reflection fragmented by the soft glow of fireworks bursting spectacularly across the night sky behind her window. Her eyes, heavy with the weight of loss and resilience, search for answers in their own depths. The flickering light casts shadows across her face, revealing lines etched by pain, perseverance, and hard-won wisdom. Her breath comes slow and steady as she whispers to the empty room, "This isn't the end." It is a quiet vow, a fragile spark of hope flickering amid the ruins of a life rebuilt. In this intimate moment, she embraces the scars as part of her strength, ready to face whatever comes next with newfound grace. The city's celebrations outside contrast with her solitude, underscoring a story of silent resolve. As twilight deepens, the sprawling cityscape unfolds beneath a velvet sky streaked with fading hues of pink and indigo. Lights flicker on in countless windows, each one a silent story of struggle, hope, and quiet triumph. Silhouetted figures move through the urban maze, some hurried, some still, each carrying invisible burdens and dreams. The camera pulls back slowly, revealing the vastness of the city and the tiny luminous lives within it. A voice, calm and resonant, intones, "We build empires not to own the world, but to find our place within it." The words echo softly over the hum of life, reminding us that every legacy is shaped not just by power or wealth, but by the courage to keep moving forward, no matter the cost. The journey continues, ever unfinished, always transforming. On a rooftop overlooking the city's glittering expanse, a solitary figure stands quietly, framed by the vast night sky. Their posture is calm yet resolute, a silhouette against the sprawling sea of lights below. The wind stirs their coat gently, carrying with it the weight of endings and beginnings, losses endured, and hopes rekindled. The voiceover, soft and lingering, whispers one final line. He left the company, but never left her. The words resonate deeply, capturing the essence of love, legacy, and the enduring human spirit. As the screen slowly fades to black, the city's heartbeat seems to slow, leaving the audience suspended between silence and possibility, the story's echo lasting long after the final frame.